So I'm finally at the stage where I get to do the fenders on this car. This is a part of the build that I've been excited about since I first came up with the idea of building a Laurel. The guard work is something that's so crucial to the overall appearance and execution of these cars, and it's so important to get this right. So I contacted the guys at Ulterior Motives in the USA. We measured up all different sizes, specs, widths, heights, everything you can think of to get these flares custom made in the right sizes, front and rear, all the heights, everything you can think of. It's all done. This inner lip here, that will usually get folded back against itself once it's on the car, give you more wheel clearance and it won't cut into the tire. But these are only fairly thin steel sheet and they can buckle, especially if your wheel's running really close to the guard, especially on the front when the wheel's turning and grabbing at a certain point. I don't want to fold a guard. It's going to be really annoying if I do that. It is part of having a low drift car, but if I can avoid it, I will. So I like to roll up a bit of, this is actually just 2.4 mil steel TIG filler wire, but it's got a little bit of strength to it. I'm gonna put it on the inside of the fold there and then hammer it around so that it creates a wired edge. Now we have the wired edge welded in the whole way around. That should give it lots of strength, very solid now. For years to come of tire rubbing on guard, as this car will be run very low. You can see the mark on the bumper and the guard, those two body lines, that's where I want to meet up. That's where it's going to end up. The width is bang on, and it actually lines up perfectly with the texture mark that I made, which was done well before I got these guards. So you can see how well they've made them to the correct sizes. I'm very happy with that. Now, this outer line here is where the new flares sit. That will be the welded edge. But you can see then it's going to overlap the nice edge of where the body line finishes here. So I want to have that nice edge retained. So I've decided to cut here, remove this black section, which between these marks is the same distance as this mark to this mark. So once this all slides backwards, this point will now be here, and it will leave us with this nice flat area in this space so that we have flat the whole way around. I'm very happy with how this has come up. That weld edge now sits quite nicely where the edge of the body line is now back. I've cut the radius perfectly into the guard for clearance to the wheel. So the flares are welded on now, very happy with that. I now have made up these little infill pieces that will weld down in this corner and just fill in that edge. That'll all be sanded smooth. It'll give this a little bit of extra strength in this area. As some of you may know, my previous car was a Toyota Sora, and I parted that car out to fund the building of this vehicle. There's been certain parts that have been kept and transferred over, not a whole lot: the seat, steering wheel, and wheels. These wheels were originally built and intended to go on the Sora. Obviously that's not happened. They've ended up on this car, which I'm very happy about. I feel like they suit it really well. But I also have many other wheels from that car that I will be running on this car. And they're much wider than you would be able to fit on a stock body Nissan most of the time. So it was always an option it was always the plan to do wide fenders on this car, because I was never going to be able to run the wheels that I wanted to on this car, and it's just the style that I like. I probably would have done it anyway, so I'm very excited about that aspect of this build as well, keeping the wheels from the other car and running them on this. One thing that I'm very excited to try on this car is the metalwork that goes into the rear door section, as the doors will be part of the flare. This is going to require a lot of metalwork on the inside of the wheel tub in the rear end. The front is quite easy, it's just a single layer front guard, but these rears will require quite a lot of work to mount up. We're going to have to cut a new door line into the guard. That'll have to be plated on the inside. I want to document all of this. So now you can see all the material that was removed from the car to gain wheel clearance. Quite a lot, actually. Many pieces. Even this brace section from the inside of the tub doesn't need to be there anymore. So we have a lot more clearance. With the big open space here now in the inner wheel arch, where we've cut it out to raise this height to give the wheel more clearance at low ride height. Obviously now we're going to have to fill this in. I'm going to now roll a sheet of 1mm zinc coated steel, matching the thickness of the body steel, and profile it to weld around this edge, all around the outside. That'll all get smoothed. That's just to close off this void and make sure that no debris, smoke, water, whatever can get inside the car when Here you can see that I've got the flare tacked onto the car now finally. Feels good. Just a few tacks, make sure it all fits up nicely. I've drawn on the body line that will be cut as well. So this will get fully welded on now, and then I will go and cut that so the door can open again. And then we can focus on reconstructing the door jamb in that cut. This may just look like a little piece, but that will be that little corner there, that shape. Got this piece that will fill in this section as well. This feels like such a milestone. I've been thinking about doing these flares for years now. When I first bought the car, I wanted to do it, and that was over 2 years ago now. And now to see all this metalwork finally all done, I'm very, very happy with this. I love that shape. You can see where the wheel can travel up into the door now. Now I have the pieces all formed, ready to go into the door here. Looks just like a little bit of twisted whatever, but sits in here quite nicely. That will get welded in and smoothed out. And then this corner piece here, which I've made up similar to the opposite side on the car. This will weld into the door like that and finish off that nice rounded edge. Okay, so all this metalwork is done, smoothed out. The flare is all welded and sanded. Very happy with all of this. That weld's a little visible still, but it's just on the inside of the door. It really doesn't matter that much. It's nice and smooth. It's got a real nice shape to the flare now, and this all overlaps quite nicely. I feel like this has been a long time coming, having this flare done. It's been so much more work than I anticipated, doing all the door jamb and wheel tub underneath, the tire clearance, and it's a lot of work doing this, and I'm very proud of how it's turned out. This little section that goes on the front bumper, it's been something that I've been thinking about for a while now, and I've decided to, instead of trying to join the steel piece to the fiberglass bumper, which just never works very well, I'm going to make a little mold of this and then remake this in fiberglass. And after a little bit of Googling, I found that PTFE dry lubricant can be used as a release agent for fiberglass. So I'm going to give this a go and see how it likes to release fiberglass off steel. I've got my fiberglass resin mixed with hardener, fiberglass matting, lay it over the top. I'll do a few layers to make a bit of a mold now and let that dry. The resin has set. It's gone mostly hard now, so I'm going to try and peel this out, and I'm praying that it comes out easily. Ooh, that's awesome. Now here you can see there's a few little pinholes and whatnot that I have used some body filler to smooth out. Now this is the mold for the little flare section. I'll spray this again and then lay some more fiberglass over that to make the actual piece that is going to be attached to the bumper bar. Now with the internal layer of fiberglass to hold the piece in, I've now covered the outside in another layer of fiberglass so that it's nice and strong. That will add a lot of strength back into that section now, and then I'm going to do the same from this point and then probably taper it back up to a point here as well, so that this gives it a bit more strength again, and then this whole corner will be ready for some serious sanding and some filler and a little bit of primer, and this will be the final parts of the flares. So that's this video completed. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to say thank you as well for all of the interest that everybody's shown on their videos so far. Lots of questions and comments, and a lot of requests specifically about this video with the flares install. So I hope this can help some of you who are doing similar work. If you have any further questions, obviously leave a comment. Happy to get back to you. And yeah, thanks again.